So, which relations are functions? We identified four types of relation. We had the one-to-one, we had the many-to-one, we had the one-to-many, and we had the many-to-many. And it's worth just pausing for a second and looking at the diagrams to make sure you're clear which is which. Now, these two here, the one-to-one and the many-to-one, are defined as being functions. Those that are not functions have single values in the domain, giving rise to two or more values in the range. And we can see that here, where this value here gives rise to two values, and here, where this value here gives rise to two values. There's a simple way to decide using a graph if a given relation is a function. If each value of x can only give rise to a single value of y, then any vertical line drawn on the graph will cut the graph at most once. So let's just think about what we said there. Let's suppose this value here of x, -6, gave rise to two different values of y. Then the vertical line drawn on the graph, x equals -6, would cut the graph here and here. And so it would cut more than once, it would cut twice, and that would not be a function. But let's have a look at this one that we've actually got, this graph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a vertical line, and you could use your ruler for this, and I'm going to sweep it across the graph. Now over here we can see it doesn't cut the graph at all, but that's fine. It says at most once, so it's okay for it not to cut at all. And if we sweep across, we can see at any point it cuts the graph at most once. And that means that this is a function. With both one-to-many functions and many-to-many functions, at least one value of x gives rise to more than one value of y. So even if we just had one here that was just a set of points, if we try sweeping across, we can see here, when we get the line x equals 1, it cuts at 2 points. So this one is not a function. If we look at this one here, do the same thing with our line. When we get to a point here, and there's many others, this vertical line cuts the graph twice, and therefore this is not a function. Not surprisingly, this test that we've just applied is known as the vertical line test. So we have a function if it passes the vertical line test, and it's not a function if it fails it by cutting at 2 or more points.